Welcome, Ajax fans, to another game talk, live talk, a mix today because we're playing Conference League, Ajax, Aston Villa 0-0. We had a great game, guys. I just want to get right into it. We had a great game. We pressed Aston Villa. We made it hard for them to create chances. So I just want to have your thoughts on it because actually I'm kind of proud of our team. So, Andrew, hi, welcome. All the way from
Great to
Florida.
Poppy, great to be back, my friend. Great to be here with my distinguished friends here on the other side of the ocean. Um, instant analysis on this one. Loved every second of it. Tense at the end. I thought we brought our best game of the season today. And what can you say about Kaplan? Oh my word! A
He was
star
good, huh?
is born.
Yeah.
Great game.
Great game. And you, Yadirenko, I know you're critical sometimes. I know you're not very fan of this 5-4-1 formation, but
No,
you must give it
it's
to
ridiculous.
Ajax today, right?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think the team was on fire today. They absolutely showed what you want to see. The intention, the way they played, the intensity was great. But in the end, you don't need five defenders if you have Kaplan and if you have Hato. They are so unbelievably good and rising. And it's a shame, but because at times they finally tried to press in front, but you saw that they missed out a little bit of support from the midfield and from the front to really make it difficult for Aston or
Opponent.
for Villa.
Yeah.
They can really outplay it without too much trouble. But you saw that when you hunt for the ball and when you're close to that opponent, they're gonna doubt and they're gonna spill the ball sometimes, and that's when you have the traction that you want. So I loved it. I really hope that Schip and the TS will turn it around and start playing 4-3-3 again. And I'm kind of disappointed in Gooijer because he made a fatal rookie mistake which you cannot make in these games, especially when you are with 10 or are against 10 people. Then you cannot have a stupid yellow card like that on their side. So that was disappointing, but hey, he's a youngster. But I would send him for a run tomorrow on around Amstelveen.
Can I just ask you something about Hoyer because I thought both moments in which he got the yellow card was pretty lightweight. Actually, the first one I didn't even think it was a yellow card. So wasn't then not the mistake of Van het Schip to make a change sooner?
No,
If
because
we're talking about
because there was I don't think there was a real risk because Aston Villa wasn't that forward and there weren't many troubles in the back. But the way he charged and started that duel is just stupid, because I don't even think it was a really hard foul, but the way he went into it was just plain stupid. Was
But
just
you're talking about the
absolutely.
second one, right? You're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about the
exactly,
second yellow
exactly,
card. Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
But there
That's
was
what I
enough time between the first yellow card and him being sent off, and we were already with 11 men against 10. Wouldn't it be better for Van Schip to take an action there immediately? He also took Manswerk out that had a yellow card. Wasn't that the smarter move? Jelon, yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
please, your opinion on the game.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, he could have bring Guy in, especially since Aston Villa was. It seemed like okay with the draw here, so they were not pushing very hard at the end, and especially when we're up 11 against 10, you can get away with substituting
With the
Gooijer
guy.
for Guy. I think that would be okay. To answer the first part of the question about Van Schip, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was talking to another panel member, Ajax, before the game, and he didn't have very much confidence in the team. And I said 2-2 actually. So
He thought we were gonna get beaten, right? Like a Napoli score, kind of.
No way.
Oh, Yellen. Yellen, come back to us, please. And he's
We
gone.
lost Jellen.
Okay, we'll bring back Yellen in a bit. So, wait, why are you muted, Andrew? Yeah, okay.
No, I muted myself.
Sorry.
My mother-in-law walked behind me. Sorry.
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
Unless you want family drama, I
the stream there, was it my internet?
Yeah, you dropped out a bit, but you're
I'm
back.
sorry.
I hear you. You're
Okay.
good.
That never happens.
Go ahead,
but okay, let's continue. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the level we were playing at. I don't think it was as defensive as I thought it was going to be. So I was pleasantly surprised with Linson being as far up the pitch as he was. But then again, I would have liked to see a different midfield setup. And even though I like Mansverk and Henderson together, they're both sixes and they're both controlling the game. So to have a bit of more of a linking up player and a presence in the midfield, I maybe would have put Taylor one back and then played maybe like Forbes or something, especially in the latter half of the game. But then again, I can understand this decision to play like this because we didn't give away any chances. So I can understand why they did it like this.
And my question to you guys is like, okay, we started this formation from Utrecht, didn't give many chances away. People come to this game, we are thinking we're struggling. It's going to be, I mean, you talked about Ajax. Ajax told me, I hope it won't be a Napoli defeat in scoreline. So we were all pretty scared. Yeah, I mean, we were pretty scared about what Aston Villa could do to us. But Ollie Watkins, almost no chances. One shot from DB in the first half. I'm sorry?
Kaplan was in the pocket of Kaplan. He's still there.
Oh.
They're on the bus. They're showered, and he's still in his pocket. He takes him home. He takes Watkins home.
Totally agree.
I don't think there is any debate, but Kaplan is our man of the match, right?
Oh, hands down.
Hands down, right, Andrew? And what about I mean, look, I thought everybody in the team worked really well, pressed really well, worked really hard. So who do you want to highlight? I mean, we can highlight everyone. I thought Taylor played decent. I thought Linson played, I mean, his work rate is amazing. He didn't do everything perfect, but really good. Even Sosa looks different in this formation. So would you guys continue with this formation for the remainder of the season? Or would you guys stay with this when Berghuis and Bergwijn are back? Go ahead, Andrew. You first.
Yeah, listen, I'll be the contrarian here because I know where Yadorenko's head is on this. I actually think they don't have the personnel on the wings to go back to the traditional 4-3-3. They look, he's trying to make, as my father used to say, chicken salad out of chicken beep. It's he doesn't have the. I don't trust Forbes. I think he's fast, but I think that's all he gives you. Berghuis, I love, but not as a winger. Bergwijn, yes, but I don't think you have anybody on the right side that's a true winger. And I think no matter who you put out there, it's a Band-Aid. And when they go into the transfer market after the season ends, that has to be, in my mind, the number one place that you start hunting is find a right winger immediately. I don't know who. What's that?
Conceição, but he's going to Porto.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, but you got to start
he's
somewhere.
going.
You have to start somewhere. I mean, look, I love the 4-3-3 as a system. I grew up watching that. That's part of the DNA of the club, and but I think he's put. Listen, I get all the criticism the ship gets, understand it, but I'm not sure if you put Jurgen Klopp out there that you're managing this club, that he, given the resources that he has on the bench. I mean, I'm looking at the substitution bench today. Like, to the point earlier when we were talking about Goyer, do you take him off? And I'm like thinking to myself, well, who on that bench? You go, but Martha out there? Like, no way.
But to be honest, Andrew, the TS is actually selecting the bench. So
True.
they chose those terrible players. Again, Forbes on the bench. What is he doing there? He shouldn't come in. So don't sit on the bench, in my opinion.
That's
Try.
harsh.
Yeah, but we've tried how many times with him? He never really delivered, and he has been costing I believe, what was it, 14 million. You pay him a thick salary, so top sport is tough, and we're not even at our top. So
I agree.
You cannot
Do we
deliver.
have anyone better to put on the bench then?
Sorry?
Instead of him, do we have anyone better to put on the bench instead of him?
To be honest, I would have put Götze on the bench, even though he's coming back from an injury. I would have put him on the bench. That if you have those last 10 minutes, you can put him in because he can bring something. I also don't understand this substitution of Akpom because he doesn't show it as well. Why not bring Rijkoff? Because he seems to bring some turmoil on the pitch, and that's what you want at that moment, especially when you're against 10 persons for 2 minutes. But
what I like about it's funny you mentioned Rijkoff there, Yadarenko, because I've been suggesting, offline that maybe the better way of approaching it is, given the situation, is 2 up top instead of isolating Broby. And I think Rijkoff would be a good pair. And we were talking about the Brazilian 5-3-2 formation. Give him somebody to play off of, or when he holds the ball in the box, have somebody who knows how to move off the ball into space, to give them better opportunities. I feel at times he's a little too isolated and doesn't get to show, because he's not getting the support on the outside. He doesn't get the ability to pass off left or right. He's really left with his only option to somehow try to turn on the defender when he received the ball with his back to the goal.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. I think Broby did a tremendous job today, but he was too isolated.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you switch to a 2-man striker up front, you cannot press like we did today, right? Because with the 3 up front, you're kind of pressing in a different way, and with 2, you can't be that dominant on the press. But I do understand your statement. But I want you, Yadirenko, to come back on: would you move back to a 4-3-3 with Berghuis and Bergwijn? Because you said I would prefer to go back to a 4-3-3, but can Sosa play a left back in a 4-3-3 system?
But I'm not a fan of Bergwijn, so I wouldn't play with Bergwijn at first place. So, but I would try that, and I wouldn't try that because I think that's the best way, because you have some injuries right now, so you have a bit of an issue. That's true, but I would try to play that way because you need to be in form in the last days of the competition, because maybe you have to play playoffs and then you have to be ready. Then you have to be informed. Then you have to play a little bit better, as we've done the past few weeks or even months. So you need to work towards that, in my opinion. You have no other choice. You have no other option. You're not going to get this the second place. And you're probably not going to get the third place. So you have to focus on that, in my opinion. And then the best way is just to try to overload the opponent with your pressing. And that's the only way you can do that is with 4-3-3, in my opinion, if you really want to do it well, especially again in the Dutch competition.
And you, Yalan, do you agree with Yadirenko or Andrew?
Maybe a little bit of both and a little bit not of both. I feel like we need to make the most of what we have now, whether whatever formation we put on the pitch, it needs to be like the philosophy is the most important. So I think you can press in any system. You just have to have a good communication between players. So I don't see why you cannot press with a 4-4-2 or with a 4-3-3 or with a 5-4-1 or whatever you call it. There just needs to be cohesion in the team and to start pressing.
Yeah,
And what they did today.
the issue, you're right. It doesn't really matter on the formation. The point with the formation, especially when you have 1-6, is that you have 5 people to press full on their back, and that's just an additional player than if you play 4-4-2, because then you have 2 6s, and then you play with 4 people pressing, and then you have just a little bit less pressure from 4 players as from 5 players, and they're also in a zigzag pattern. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. They have the triangles. Yeah.
Like a
I
W.
agree. If you play the 4-4-2 with 2 6s like they played today with Manswerk and Henderson, it's not going to work. So you have to have another midfield composition of the two. So I agree with that. But I disagree with 2 striker formation, especially with Rijkhoff. And I know I've been critical about Rijkhoff, but also we not have seen enough. But he hasn't proven to me in young Ajax or when he came into the team that he is at this moment ready for a starting position. So
but Akpom hasn't proven that he's.
No, he has proven as a substitute. He has proven himself as a substitute. He came on. Yes, he came on. He scored, I think, 10 or 11 goals as a substitute. I understand why Akpom is coming in. He has proven himself.
Lately,
yes.
Lately, I haven't seen anything from him lately. In the last,
no, but he has proven himself. Rijkhoff
you
hasn't scored a goal in
right?
2 months. Rijkhoff hasn't scored a goal in 2 months. He played 90 minutes against Telstar and didn't score a goal.
Yeah.
So why are we giving chances out of the blue?
No, I don't think it's out of the blue. I think the game today had so much intention, and Rijkhoff tends to bring that intention, and that's what you need. So it's not about giving people chances just for the hell of it, but I think you need to look at what your team needs on the pitch and try to accomplish that with the players. And sometimes it will work, and sometimes it won't.
Akpom's last
but guys,
goal was
we do know that Akpom came in and he was in action with the combi play with Broby, and he was the one that got Aston Villa the red card, right? So,
Which was a smart thing, I think, because I think he even made the foul himself because he locked up his arm.
He did.
Quite sneaky.
Exactly, and he had that moment in which, and he had that moment with Branco with the cross, in which if he timed it well,
he should have scored. He should have scored.
He jumped too early.
Broby should have
timed
scored
it well,
too, right?
He didn't even hit the ball. Like he totally missed the ball.
He's gonna have nightmares about that.
Yeah, that was an open chance.
But even my son goes, "You're not gonna beat it is tough to beat Emi Martinez on a flash header like that." He says you're better off beating him on a pure strike. You know, look.
Good keeper.
The Akpom Rijkhoff thing. I give him all the credit. He drew that foul on Konsa, and make no mistake about it. Without Konsa back there next week, you're already down Tyrone Mings, who's been gone the whole season. Konsa been playing great. He's gone. They just lost their starting CDM, out for the year, knee surgery. He's gone. The whole central triangle of their defense is toast. You know, if it's now or never. And if you're ship, it's time to roll the dice and say, you know what? We are going to push it forward. And I happen to agree. You had to rank what you said earlier. Now you got Hato and Kaplan back there. Have a little trust. Roll the dice. Step on the accelerator. Let's see if we can create chaos in the middle of their defense. They are a wounded animal right now.
But so Hoyer is gone. So you can play Rens on the right, have Kaplan and Hato in the middle, and you will be fine.
Yeah, you could. And I think it's funny, right? You come into this game and the fandom out there is so negative. The morale is so down. But you come out of this game, and I'm saying to myself, the pieces are there now. They are ripe. for the taking. And if we just play a little bit more offensive and attack the middle of the field, they're in a world of trouble. One other
But we
thing
had
that hasn't been
chances today.
discussed. Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
you're even
we
going to
did.
have more chances.
Yeah.
They had to move Konsa off. They made that switch. They took Torres off. They moved Konsa back inside. Konsa was getting, I couldn't believe it. Sosa was running past him like he was a statue. I know he's coming back from injury and he's a little dinged. But, he made Sosa look, for moments out there, look like Roberto Carlos with speed coming down the flank. I was like, do I know this man? And
That's true. He played a good game.
He played, he was creating opportunities, and you could see Sosa's confidence rising as the game went on. Like, I got this.
He was
I got
smiling.
this. Oh, he was smiling. I caught
Yeah.
that. He was smiling the whole game. He had a real positivity about him on the field that I have not witnessed all year. And, look, we all know his defensive liabilities. Nobody's going to sit there and call him a lockdown, outside defender. He just isn't. But you give me production like that where you're beating the outside back down the flank and being able to whip some crosses in, there is opportunity there. And especially now that Villa heads into next Thursday's game a wounded animal. They are ripe for the taking.
Let me just say it for the viewers. They're playing Spurs, I think, this weekend. So another big game for them. And then Ajax again. So, this is the time to hurt them. A lot of injuries. I didn't expect Aston Villa to come to the arena playing like this, to be honest. I thought they would pressure us. I thought they would.
They never do in away matches.
But it's Emery. It's Emery.
They never do in
Yeah,
away
but I
matches.
just wonder what will be different, guys. What do you guys think will be different next week away in their stadium? Will we see a same? Because you guys are already talking about go more attacking, but we haven't been this stable since we moved to this formation.
But they slaughtered Brighton at home 6-1. We lost twice against Brighton, if I remember correctly. So I think we should tame the enthusiasm a little bit and not go gung ho over there because we're gonna get slapped in the face.
But
so
it doesn't
we need
mean
to
play
have
the
a
same
little
way
bit of a
as we did
safety.
today?
I would
play
say
the same
start
way?
off that way and see how it unfolds. Just start off that way. Just get your footing, see how it goes, and then maybe you can switch one defender and put an attacking midfielder. But get your footing a little bit.
But the big thing is, in my opinion, that you can expect 80-degree turn from their side. They will go full on energy in the next game. They will go for it. So you basically have two choices. One is what Jelen says, just hold them off and see how that's going, or you can try to surprise them and go on the offensive and pressure them.
Yeah, and I want to hear from you, Janko. Would you go for the surprise, or would you stay like this?
I think they're not ready to do that yet. So
even if Berghuis is back, even if Berghuis
you have Fortuna, and that's it. So you cannot really get into that rhythm and get that really pressing with 4-4-3, 4-3-3. So I agree with Jelen. I would. For now, I would choose
control.
Make the control in the defense, and then hope to be strong in the duels, and try to get something out of it, because it's already a win, because we all thought we were going to lose today. So we're still in the game. So it's already a win for us, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let me go to the comments real quick. Indrek is saying no Sutalo, less problems. The defense looks solid with Kaplan. What a block at the end. We found a new hero. 0-0. I have taken it before the game, to be honest. Everything's still possible. Do you guys feel the same way? 0-0. I have taken it before the game, to be honest. But looking at the game, we should have won, no?
Yeah.
With the chances, the Taylor chance, the Broby chance,
I got a gripe here. So wait a minute. When they had that first play, the Broby chance where he beat Konsa towards the near left post, and he got shoved 2 hands in the back as he was shooting by, it was a clear 2-hand shove, and the referee is right there.
No VAR. Yeah, no
No
VAR.
whistle, no
No.
foul. He goes flying face first into the turf, and
And it wasn't a big push, but it was a
Yeah,
decisive.
it was
It
so
was a
very
decisive.
smart of the defenders. So smart.
It took him off balance completely.
it
But
took
it's
him
for-
off
it's- it's
balance,
for-
and that shot ended
That's
up on
why
the
he.
side netting.
That's why he missed the shot on goal. Then you also have a great
The first
keeper
touch.
over there. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the first touch was the problem. His first touch,
Yeah,
he
oh, no
couldn't
doubt,
get it
no
in front
doubt.
of him.
Yeah, but
And
besides,
still,
the
he
first
should have
touch,
aimed
still-
for the far
still had
post
a
because he
chance.
aimed for the
Agreed.
near post. He should have aimed for the far post.
But here's the thing,
And that-
though, right? I'm not so sure he wasn't going to try for that. I think when he got off balance, he did what he could.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It should have gone far post. But
And the strange thing
I
is not
jumped
that
out of my
give it.
seat.
And I don't think the strangest thing is that he doesn't give it. The strange thing is that the VAR doesn't look at it. That's the strange thing. to me.
Exactly. Couldn't believe it. There was
But
another
let's not talk too much about the ref, because
He was terrible.
also
My God.
even if he gave the advantage, he didn't come back to give a yellow card to the person that made the
But
tackle.
to
or
be
something.
fair, I've seen
Very
far
weird.
worse referees, so this was not decided
True.
by a referee.
Yeah, but in the first half, he gave us a corner which wasn't a corner at all.
This happens
And there
every
were
game.
so many so many fouls from.
You would
from his
expect
side.
that with a VAR it wouldn't happen, but it still happens. So
It's,
it wasn't decisive
guys,
in my book.
I see a lot of comments from people saying Kaplan for Prime Minister.
For the Prime
Minister of
Minister.
Security. Kaplan ruling the defensive line like a sultan. I asked my Turkish friend what Kaplan means, and he said that it literally means tiger. So we have
really?
a nickname for him. Yeah.
Did you see him celebrating after the block? That was like
yeah.
did you
Lovely.
Did you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, that was
great. But the whole
exceptional,
team went to him. Even Henderson was happy with that. And
Yeah, but like immediately he was celebrating, like he knew how important it was. That to me, that's when you have that game.
Yeah,
knowledge.
but as a defender, those are lovely moments, because you have that much of difference, and the ball goes on goal or you put it out, and you give it all, and it's lovely when you have that ball. So
I was saying
the
to my
emotion
friend
comes out.
watching it,
Lovely to see.
I was saying there's gonna be one chance in like 85 to 92, and I have a feeling that's gonna go in. Luckily it didn't, but that was that one shot that could have gone in because it was going to the far corner.
Yeah, it was. I jumped. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but I might have exceeded his excitement with that block. Normally I have about a 1-inch vertical leap. I think I hit Michael Jordan heights coming out of the sofa. I was flying on that. Thank God.
but
thank God
guys,
my
it's a
family had
big
left me.
save. It's a big save. Last minutes in the game. I mean, if he shoots it, it's a goal. So yeah, great
No
goal.
doubt.
And Steve is saying Villa were underwhelming. Bode were of a different category. Do you guys agree?
No. The first part maybe, second part no.
So the only difference is, if I hear you guys correctly, is us.
Yes, Ajax was
The way we
terrible
play,
against Bodo. Like
our structure. Yeah.
Unwatchable.
I have never seen anything like it.
You saw in the Bodo games, you saw what a huge difference the right intention can make, because Bodo had the correct intention, especially at their home game.
Yep.
And today Villa didn't have the good intention, and they struggled to get into it. They were a bit better in the second half, but it's really hard to get into a game instead of starting from the get-go. And with the knife between the teeth, as we say in Holland.
I think
I just
Villa
feel-
underestimated Ajax.
You took the words right out of my mouth there, Jan. They came in thinking, I think they came in, they must have talked to Ajax before the game, thinking it was going to be 5-0, and they were
But you
just
can
going to
see it
walk
on their
through.
demeanor and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this."
It was like watching the U.S. women's national team in the World Cup. They walk out there thinking they were going to hand them the trophy, right? And meanwhile, they came, and I think the immediate physicality, Kaplan, just as you said, he's still living. He's living rent-free in Ollie Watkins' mind. That boy is going to need therapy after today. There's no doubt. That guy's going to wake up at 3 a.m. tonight, and he's going to have visions of this hulking Turkish
tiger.
central defender like on him, and he's going to snap up in his sleep. I don't think they expected that. I think they thought they were going to see a repeat of Boda. And I just think it just didn't happen. They played with purpose today. They played with intensity and effort today. And they played to win. I mean, not like playing like they were holding on for dear life like they did in Norway, but today there was a purpose and an intention to their play that has been lacking throughout this season. And we'll get to our dear friend Mr. Stein later, who has his thumbprint all over that. But we'll touch on that later in this discussion.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say.
I know.
Sorry, Yellen?
Yeah, we will.
I said, please don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me continue. Yeah, no, just continuing with the comments. Javit, usually on critical side, but this Ajax with this performance deserves respect, 100% concentration, and today we had seen what Ajax missed and mentioned, the wholeness in movement.
This is Ajax, by the way, who commented this.
Oh, this is
No,
not
I'm
the blue.
Puntje is fully Henderson vibe. Henderson has a Tadic vibe. First captain, please. What do you think of Henderson today, guys? We didn't discuss him, but I want you to hear your opinion. Start. Whoever wants to say
I'll
it.
kick this off. There was a very interesting article written yesterday in the Athletic here in the States, discussing selections for the English national team, and they were speaking to Henderson and why they think Gareth Southgate will ultimately place him on the roster for the Euros. And the reason that they gave from multiple writers was there is no better communicator out there on the field. And I think that really sums it up. No, he's not 24 years old anymore. No, he's not, he may never be a global superstar. But what goes on up here, he processes what's going on the field, and he keeps his team organized through communication. How many times in the first half of the year did we see Ajax's defense pierce through like a hot knife through butter, through balls, nobody back, guys too far forward, and it's 3v1 going the other way?
Sutalo going
Whatever
ham.
we may think aesthetically about the formation that they're forced to use, the one thing that has come through is we simply haven't seen those crazy counterattack breakaways, knock on wood, maybe not say this weekend, but we just haven't seen that. I think part of that is Henderson talks, and he just talks and talks and talks out there on the field. You see him both giving positive energy and giving instruction to the younger players who don't necessarily have this experience of where he wants them to be. To that point, yeah, he's got a bit of Tadic in him from that aspect. He's never going to have Tadic's dribbling skills, but that's another story for another day. But I look, they needed a leader. They got themselves a leader.
Before you guys go on Henderson, Yadirenko, and Yellen, I just want to say that before he came, I really thought he would be a sideway pass and a back passer. But now that I'm looking at him, before he receives the ball, he is already looking at the front forward, where they're standing, how they're moving. Can I give it directly forward? I didn't expect that from Henderson. Did you guys?
This was today. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. This is my
yeah. I have seen it the first game and today, and in between he had a little bit of an adjustment period where he was doing that what you just said, like back passing, but also because the team wasn't moving around him, I think, so he didn't have many options. What I will say today is I was talking to a friend of mine, and he says he doesn't move apart from pressing the keeper, but he doesn't move 5-6 meters at a time. So he sees where the game is going. So he positions himself so that he has to 1 or 2 meters to intercept or to put someone else out there. So he always knows where the play is going, and in that way, he reminds me a little bit of Busquets. I watched the documentary on Busquets. He doesn't walk more than 3 meters at a time. It's crazy. It's actually
Smart
crazy.
players.
So
It's a great comparison.
Yeah.
So if he can combine that with good, like incisive passing, like he did today, like he's an asset for sure. Go ahead.
And if we can create more depth, right, up front, because Brobbey is the only one that can receive those deep balls.
Or players that join the attack when Brobbey holds the ball, also fine.
Exactly. Yadirenko, are you convinced about Henderson now? Are you happy with him? Are you seeing a difference with our team?
I was never opposed to Henderson. I think he's not the glamour player that you might expect at Ajax, but you see his quality when you remove him from the team. Then you really see what he's worth. So he's a silent guardian of the team, and he helps his teammates. He's very humble. I like it a lot.
Perfect. Well, Progressivo is helping us. Hit the like button, guys. If you're liking this talk, please do so. Would help us a lot. Indrek is saying, let me see, sorry. At home, Villa will play with a higher back line, so our today's formation should be even more effective than if we can exploit that.
Oh, by all means, please do that.
They were
Seriously.
high already.
They were high, and if they play any higher, it's going to be one on Martinez with Brobbey. Brobbey had their back line beat repeatedly. I mean, he was timing those runs beautifully. And
Actually, in the first half, Andrew, I must say they were staying in a low block. It's the second half that they moved a little bit more away from the low block.
Yeah, but he was still when the back line was coming up the field though. I don't disagree, but hear me out, Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
When they move out of the low block and go forward, I mean, he was beating them in the low block. You know, he was slipping through and getting behind. If you're going to make it a drag race from midfield, they're in big trouble. Conse ain't going to be there to bail him out. He's gone.
Who do they have?
You know, I don't know. I mean, they're going to go with Pau Torres. He looked like a glacier out there.
He's
today.
slow. He is
Slow is an understatement. That man sands.
What a lovely shirt.
Oh yeah,
son in the
that's
background.
my young keeper. He's rocking.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's rocking it too. We all listen. Every young person in my family, they all are rocking the jerseys today. They're all wearing the kit.
Lovely.
Look, I think they're scared. I think they're actually petrified to put them in a position where they can be beat from midfield, because Brobbey has figured out he can beat these guys on a drag race, and Henderson. And I even think Mansver can pick him out, you know, and you put Berghaus out there, good luck, because they're going to just chip him and say, go ahead, run. It's direct. It's not classic Ajax. It's Route 1 football. But if they want to play that way, have at it.
They might have Diego Carlos back.
Maybe.
It's doubtful. But he won't be fit, so...
Yeah. They have a lot of injuries, but we also have.
They're banged up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for defensive
David
position, who is
of-
fast, they could have Carlos. Sorry, go ahead.
No, thank you. Yeah, Kaplan is a gem. By Javid, Steve is saying, let's be honest, Ajax wasn't great. Offensively, Ajax was nowhere. I feel that's kind of harsh.
I wouldn't say nowhere, but
I felt like Aston
it
Villa
wasn't
was
chance
nowhere.
on chance. Sorry?
I thought Aston Villa didn't create much, but we did at least get some big chances to score.
Yeah, but it
like-
was not. You could see that Brobbey was on an island, especially in the first part of the first half. He was really on an island, and we had some chances, even some big chances. The chance of Taylor was a huge one, I think, and even the Brobbey chance was quite a big chance. if he wasn't pushed.
But even
It,
the
it wasn't-
crosses, even the
sorry.
crosses from Sosa, Yadirenko, even the crosses from Sosa weren't all great in the first half. If
No.
one of them reached Broby, it could have been again a chance. Like those went
Yeah, but the
all
problem-
over
Martinez is
or
the
something.
highest rated player.
But the problem was with the crosses of Sosa that Brobbey was the only receiver there, so it was really
I agree.
easy to defend that.
And he's not a
So you
good
can
player.
say, yeah, if one cross is good, yeah, but there are also two defenders, and they're not crazy as well.
It's interesting you say that, Yadirenko, because it's true. It's 100% true. The funny thing, my son and I were talking about it as we were watching the game, and especially as it pertained. I almost feel as if he should have driven more to the edge of the 18. He was almost sending in the cross two steps too early, and it would have given them an opportunity to get Broby some support for the cross. He was so far behind Konsa on so many of those plays that he had all the space and time in the world to take it further and create a better opportunity for his team. And I think when they look at the film tonight or tomorrow, and they go back and review it, and they see the real estate that Sosa had on the left side of the field, they did not have anybody there. I mean, he was running by himself. So it's just I think they're going to look at it, and I won't be surprised if they tell Sosa to take it further. You have the ability. Take it further, young man.
Vincent is saying, ik zeg het, yeah, this is Dutch, sorry. I'm saying this for
That's
weeks,
okay.
but without Satalo, it's 10 times stronger in the back. And he continues with, and what a spirit today. When Ajax shows spirit like this and wins duels like today, it's a whole different game. Yeah, absolutely. We can be very proud of our team today and what they put
I
in.
want to say one thing, because we were talking about it in the pregame here, right? The crowd. I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't seen the arena like that all year.
Buzzing. Champions
Buzzing.
League atmosphere. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's what
And I think
happens
the
when
players
you
fed,
play
I
at
got
a
the
certain
sense the
level,
players fed off that.
or the other way around.
Oh, true. It goes both ways. Certainly.
Easily satisfied this year, so.
Low bar to clear.
Ziggy is also here. Hi, Ziggy. Kaplan, Monsberg, Hendo, and Taylor all showed great work ethic today. Hilinson needs improving and will lose his spot to Berghuis once he's back. Yeah, I can see that. I thought Hilinson was mostly good on the 10, and I feel like now that he's on the wing, we're losing some of his skill. What do you guys think?
I think he was useful in
Yellow?
pressing the opponent, so he did his job. But he wasn't very lucky in his
Touches and
actions.
stuff.
So that it happens. It happens. He was still useful for the team. He worked hard, so I wouldn't say he had a terrible game or anything. So.
Agree,
I'll take that
Yadirenko?
word. The work rate was his work rate
Yeah.
was good. I mean, but I agree with you, Poppy. His natural position is a 10. It's not a winger. I mean, this goes back to the point we're band-aiding guys on the wings, right?
But with Berghuis on the wing, it's going to be no different. Then you don't have the pressing on the defense. Because Berghuis is not going to do that.
Okay.
It will be.
Putting pressure on the
I
back
have
line.
seen him press. No?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Not the way he does it. Yeah, okay.
He said in his interview
let
that was not his role. He said it himself. Like
yeah,
tackling
but
back,
I did
pressing.
see a change. I did see a change when it went from
It's also
Stein to
stamina
Skip,
wise.
right?
He's a little bit older, so it's not the same player. It's just incomparable, in my opinion.
Let me see. Kaplan man of the match by Melhano.
Actually,
Of
Martinez
course.
was man of the match according to FOTMOB. So
Really?
he had an
Okay.
8.3.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, but not from Ajax. For us, it was.
For Ajax, it was actually Hato. It says here.
Oh wow. Maybe because it's his
But
birthday. We have to say happy birthday to Hato.
user generated, so it's not official. So this
Okay.
is people
They
voting.
didn't talk to the four
But if you look,
cognoscenti here.
but if you look objectively and what happened on the pitch, we could all agree Kaplan was the man of the match, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
It has to be.
I agree.
100%.
John W is impressed with our defense. We had our chances. Yeah, absolutely. We could have won this one. It would have been better going with the lead to Aston Villa, right? But
Of course. course.
Let me see. What do we have here? Javid is not happy with Hoyer. Silly mistake. Yeah, I mean,
We
he's
already
still
discussed
young.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just checking a lot of comments, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, evening peeps. Ajax is also in the house. Welcome, Ajax.
Oh,
Great performance from our boys, I have to say. Finally fought, pressured, and played as a collective. Didn't expect this, to be honest. Well done. Yeah, I think we're all kind of surprised. Even Aston Villa fans were messaging me like, "You said Ajax was going to be trash. What is this? This is not. This is not the Ajax that we expected."
Smoke and mirrors is what they call it.
Yeah, I guess.
The
I guess we gave
expression,
them
like,
the
yeah,
blinders.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody's so happy. We played well tonight. Finally, Red Butler. What a performance from the boys. Goed gedaan, Ajax. Let me see if we have any questions. Yeah, Magnus is saying, I think it's the right choice to play this formation considering our choices of wingers. And we don't have many. Ramai, good. Oh, I think we can continue. I just want to highlight a little bit because we talked about Kaplan, we talked about Henderson, but the birthday boy that's going to sign his contract soon, Hato. What did you guys think of him? Because he's not mentioned at all yet, but that pass
I
on
mentioned
Broby and
it.
the dribble,
I mentioned
wow.
him.
no, Yarenko was all over him. He said
Yeah,
I
it.
I
think
mean,
I think you can put those two in the back and then send everyone forward because they have it under control. No, they're both really impressive. Kaplan and Hato as well. And today
and
Hato was very
Hato
good
was
in the
struggling for a bit. He was our most consistent player in the beginning of the season, started struggling. And since Kaplan is in,
Because of
he's looking like
Soutalo.
the old
yeah,
Hato.
exactly. What Jalan says, because if you have such a shaker besides you, then at times you're going to be shaky as well. So and now
He
he has
was
a rock
calling
up
medic.
there, a
No,
tiger
no
rock.
pun
I heard.
intended.
I mean,
No, sorry.
until Kaplan arrived, I mean, to your point, you're spot on, Yarenko, in my opinion. Until Kaplan arrived on the scene, every single person they put next to him was beyond shaky. I mean, like the ground was crumbling under their feet. I mean, he was being asked to do two people's jobs in many cases, in many games, and I think it affected his confidence for a stretch there for certain.
But
And
Soutalo is a
also,
World Cup player for Croatia. How does this happen? How is this possible? He
Same
played
way
for
Harry
Croatia
Maguire
all
ends
the
up being a
World Cup.
World Cup player for England, right?
Sorry?
The
good
same,
one.
the same way Harry Maguire ends up being a World Cup player for
Yeah,
England
okay.
because in the right situation for him, because we love our center backs to play progressively. I love this saying that comes up through the boards all the time, the ability to find passes through the lines, to break the lines. And that's not really Sutalo's game.
No.
He's a guy who needs to play, I guess, ideally in a low block where you're sort of like where he can head it out and just man mark for short distances, which is not the way we have historically played. I don't know what they were thinking when they signed him because that has never been a part of the DNA of this club. And it just was a poor square peg round hole, as they like to say,
No,
right?
I
Yeah,
agree.
we can add
Not
that
a
to Muesli
fit.
Thought mistakes. Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. I always love a Harry Maguire meme, but he used to be pretty good. So
No,
for what
but
you
like
for what you ask of English defenders in the Premier League, he is good. But what we ask of a Dutch or Ajax defender, Soutalo doesn't have it. I agree.
well, let's talk about this for a second because it's interesting, right? Everybody gave Calvin Bassey a lot of stick last year, right? And yet he can go to Fulham and start and be viewed in a somewhat favorable light by their fans and get results, and yet he looked like a fish out of water play, as much as he tried, the effort was always there. I think that guy really wanted to succeed for the club. I think his heart was there, but it wasn't a fit. And and they have I think from a technical standpoint, have struggled in the last 2 years to find center backs that play stylistically the way that we want our center backs to play. And Bassi, Sutalo, probably both better suited to an English style of play where, it's you can sit further, unless you're playing for Liverpool or another team of that sort, where you can sit further back, head the ball out of the box, not have to run back and forth from the midfield line.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to also consider, like, even Sven Botman played at Ajax,
Yeah.
and he didn't get any chances. So the style of defender that you attract is very important for the style of play we want. And it's not every defender that can play
and
it.
the way like he was unfit. He's better than Sutalo in the role that Ajax wants to play, and we
and it's
sent him
even
away like he was trash.
and it's
Yeah.
even with De Ligt. De Ligt is also not a typical Ajax type of defender, because he's not agile. He's not, but he really fits in that team. He really fit well at Ajax in that team with footballers around him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have
But
to
he's
be
better with
always.
his feet than Sutalo. He's a lot better with his feet than
Yeah.
Sutalo.
But he's not agile. He's not like
Yeah, true.
Hato or something like that, or
He's
Rijkaard
not a
or
joke.
whatever.
Yeah.
But still, he fit right in, and that's also due to that he's an academy player, because he has been playing in that system for ages. So that's why I don't understand why Ajax, there I come again with all the youth, doesn't test youth that much anymore, because sometimes it really fits. If you look at Hato came on by accident, and he really showed that he's the number one pick on the sheet. So you never know with those kind of players, especially when they're in an Ajax shirt, because I really believe, and I also believe that of Rijkhoff, you see that he's really eager to show something in that lovely shirt, in my opinion.
My opinion on that, Yodarenko, is I like a flow of things, okay, when it comes to youth. I like the youth to be ready when they come in. I don't want my team to be fully youth just for them to develop through the season.
No, but
and
I've
have
never said that you have a youth team, a full youth team playing. But if you're 3-0 ahead against RKC or something like that, that's the time when you can test youth players and give them some minutes. And that doesn't really happen, especially not on a regular basis. And I think that's a big mistake, because you need to know where they are. They can show something at your Ajax, but you really need to know where they are on the Eredivisie level, in my opinion.
And when is the last time we were 3-0 up? Just asking.
Yeah, okay, sure. But when we were 2 years ago, it wasn't happening then.
No, okay.
No.
You mean
But
you
you
mean the
also
Ten
need-
Hag era?
You need to have them as well.
Yeah,
But they
agreed.
are there. There enough talents that have potential or show something at young Ajax, and have something extra.
Do you really think that would keep them in young Ajax and not give them a chance if they're really good enough? I don't think so.
I mean,
I really don't understand the selection procedure at young Ajax, to be honest, because there are so many players that are almost against the first team in the past and are not even selected in young Ajax at times, because they're shifting all the time, positions and formations, and it's so crazy what they're doing. They should be preparing those boys for the first team. And it's like that they're testing them there. Oh, maybe Marta, you're not performing on the right wing. Let's put you on the left back. That's what they're doing constantly with players over there.
Yeah.
And I don't
Let me
understand
continue with
that.
I understand your point, Yodarenko. Let me continue with the comments.
Yeah.
Ziggy is missing Juan. Where is he? He had a dinner today, so his day off.
So
Let him
dinner is
leave for
more
today.
important than Ajax.
Today,
Gotta check
yes,
his
important
priorities.
dinner, work dinner. He has to. Keith is happy we won against Utrecht and not lose against Villa. But for me, any manager that is unable to implement the 4-3-3 at Ajax is a failure. Wow. You
Good
agree, boys?
statement.
Even with this team and the off balance it has, you guys agree with this?
Completely disagree.
Totally disagree.
Yeah,
No, I
Renko
don't.
agrees.
I, I,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I think let's wait till July and August when the new team is assembled, and if he's unsuccessful in implementing a 4-3-3 with hopefully proper wingers, then we can reach that conclusion. But at this point, I think it's premature to get there.
But to
So
get
you're
the
saying
pile
this?
of crap that Mislintat left behind and to make something of it and then call someone a failure to provide something that is Ajax DNA but doesn't have the quality to do so is very, very harsh.
Yeah,
Because he
in my
didn't
opinion,
ask for
also very
this
harsh.
this pile of crap. Some of them.
Yeah, but
Even
partly he's to blame as well because he selects those guys and he looks at the young Ajax team as well, and he doesn't really pick the right people over there, in my opinion.
Who's
Um,
better than we have now?
I can name one man, but he's not gonna go. How do you say? That's not gonna fall well because he's displayed some behavior which isn't really nice. Mizuhui deserved a chance for quite a while now. Doesn't really had it. Doesn't really had it.
I
And
think
now
he would
he
have had. I think he would have had his chances had he signed his contract. So for me, if
Yeah.
it's his
but,
fault that he
but to
didn't
be
play.
but to be honest, Papi, he should have had his chance all a big time ago before that contract ending was even an issue. He should have had a proper chance in Ajax, and he showed quite some good things in young Ajax. So did Kaloko. Showed quite some good things in young Ajax, but they keep them in young Ajax and in young Ajax, and then it goes a little bit like this and more down. We've all seen it with Unawar. Unawar was phenomenal in young Ajax at the beginning. Never really broke through, never really got a chance, and then he went down and had some private
But there has
troubles.
to be a reason for that. They don't do that because they don't like someone. There has to be a
I'm,
reason.
I'm not I'm not saying they're not liking someone. I think they're on the wrong trajectory over there because
I mean,
if you really look at what they do at Young Ajax, they shifting players around. I believe Mizuhui was also playing on the left wing and on the right wing, but he's a 10. He's a central midfielder or attacking midfielder.
okay,
That's where he
so
excels.
when you look at the philosophy, like buying someone like Tahirovic, where there is maybe a Solfano Vos who is equally as good enough. So you won't have to buy a Tahirovic, and you would always hinder the progress of a youth player. I agree with that. So for the philosophy of Ajax to have youth come into the first team, I completely agree with that. But there has to be a reason that that doesn't happen, because they won't just
But look at
suddenly
Vos.
wake up
You
and
now
decide we're not going to do that
Yeah, you
anymore.
now name Vos. Look at Vos. Vos is a tremendous baller. He showed it in Ajax 1, but he's gone off the radar.
Yeah,
Isn't
He,
he
he had a
hurt?
Was
small he
wasn't
had a
he
small
injured?
injury. Yeah,
he
he
was
was
injured.
injured, but he's back.
Is it?
Not getting a chance anymore. Why? I don't know. I really don't understand because he's actually uh, a bit of a Frankie de Jong. He's not a Frankie de Jong, but he's a baller on the sixth position. And that's what is lovely on that position, especially if you want to play the Ajax game, in my opinion. But they seem to get a chance. Maybe it's a score like, oh, I've make a debut for that player, and then they disappear.
Okay, okay. Let's get off this topic because we
Sorry.
can go and talk about
We can
this
go
one
on for all night.
forever.
Yeah.
Heasley is saying since football is now focused on money, no one plays with their heart anymore. Well, we saw some players playing today with their heart.
Yep.
So that was good. Yeah, Kans is saying Misui is history already. Yeah, he
Yeah,
should have
sure.
signed his contract. He would have had his chances, I think. Um, Let me see.
But we saw the same with Univar. We saw the same with Hansen.
Yeah, but when we come to youth players, I do agree with Johan Cruyff. I like that players in our youth first get experience in another team that plays a different system than Ajax, that trains them on the weaknesses they have, things that they don't really train when they're playing our attacking style. You understand what I mean? I
Yeah,
think there's a gap.
so you should
There's a gap
lend,
between
but
youth
you
and
should lend
Ajax
youth.
one.
You said you should lend youth always.
I
That's
don't
what you're
think
saying.
because we play one system, I think they're missing learning other stuff that is required to play on a higher level. Yes, and they need that loan out to experience in another team what it is to defend, to do the things you rarely do at Ajax in young Ajax because
Name
usually
one
you're the best.
successful. Frankie de Jong, Willem II got back. Okay, that's one.
No,
That's one.
Willem II. No, he came
He
from
was,
Willem II, but he
yeah, but
he,
he
he
was
wasn't
also
He
landed.
came.
loaned. I think he was
He wasn't
loaned out.
landed. No,
No, I think he came.
he
I think you
came
got it
from
right, Chris.
Willem
Correct.
II, and then
Who
he
am I
went
thinking
into
of?
Young
Someone
Ajax.
was loaned out to Willem
The
II
only
and then
one
came back.
that I can think of is Ronald de Boer, which he went to Twente, was very successful, and then came back.
It's never been a
No, no, no.
process of Ajax to loan out their players. They never do it. But
They
usually
should.
the amount
And
I'm
what's
technically
the
right.
Belgian's name again? What's the Belgian names again? Who played at RKC? Who
Alderwereld,
shouted? No, the other one.
Vertongen.
Yes, Vertongen went
But
to RKC, prohibited the championship with his goal,
yeah.
and
That was
then
what
he
I.
came back.
That was the one I meant actually. But for Frankie de Jong, I'm technically right because he went from Willem II to Ajax, and then he went back to Willem II. He played one game for Willem II, and then got back to Ajax. So I'm technically right. It's here. Look at the
Okay.
page.
Donovan is saying, "Great show, guys. Love the discussion."
Doesn't
So
matter.
it's being appreciated at least. Guys, I just want to get off this game. We're happy. We got a good result. I talk about Stein before we end the podcast because there was some. He was at Rondo, a talk show here in Holland, and there was a lot discussed, especially about the time at Ajax. And he had his time to have a say, but it didn't really work his way, I would say, that interview. And there are certain things that were discussed, especially that he didn't have a good relationship with Maduro. He thinks he's the one that leaked the information to the psychologist that talked about Stein on air. I just wanted to have your opinion on what Stein said and if you guys understand him. You guys are still mad at him? Are you guys thinking he's putting the blame too much on different external things and he's not taking any responsibility himself? I would like to hear your thoughts on that. So Andrew, go ahead.
He threw his players under the bus. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the most average coach of them all? You. It's like you have to take responsibility. There's an old saying, the buck stops here. You're the manager. Okay? You can blame Mislintote. You can blame the technical staff. You can blame Maduro. You can blame whomever you want. But there's also something about he looks so weak and petty doing this, going to Rondo, having this interview. I think it's, as a human being, it's a terrible look. Walk away with your head held high, leave gracefully, quietly into the night, and
But
just
he's
move
really
on.
small, huh?
Yeah,
He's really small.
I just think, but the thing that really upsets me about this is that I do think if you look back at the history of stories, whether it's Van der Vaart, whether it's Schneider, whether it's his cronies that were entwined with the club, that seem like I want to know what their motivation is for continuing to sort of promote this man. I get it. Maybe he's friends with them, but I'm scratching my head here. Like, it almost feels like sabotage, almost, from having insiders from the organization somehow giving this man a microphone to cast a bad light not only on himself but on the club too. He's trying to take. He would love nothing more. He feels slighted. He feels like he was undercut. Okay, fine, but you know what? Walk away with some dignity, my friend. Just leave with dignity, and he hasn't done it.
Jodirenko?
I can
About the
be,
Stein interview? Huh?
I can be really short on Stein. Stein is a name of the past. I think the worst coach ever at Ajax. So I don't really care what he says. I really don't give a rat's ass what he says.
Before I go to London, because I do see anger when Ajax fans talk about Stein, I have to be as the host a little bit devil's advocate. But he also had a very bad scenario coming into Ajax. No real board, no real sporting director. He didn't
No
have a good
balls.
relationship with.
Yeah.
No balls. He came in without putting any how do you say, any discussion with Mislintat about what kind of players he wanted. He just accepted the role
That's
as
his
is.
problem.
Oh, he signed for that, Papi.
Yep.
But
He agreed.
wait.
He agreed not to have any influences, and the
Papi
transfer
wasn't
wasn't
done yet.
even ready, and he began to complain.
I just
So-
want, but you guys don't have any understanding for what Stein has gone through, and
Yes.
you guys think that it's mostly his fault. Is that key here?
No,
No.
whoa.
No, definitely not.
No. There's a whole lot of
Okay.
There's a whole lot of blame to go around, but what you don't do is you don't go into the national media and start pointing fingers. You don't go into a press conference and say the players
But
was
to be honest,
I have been
Andrew-
given are rubbish.
But Andrew, to be honest, Overmars did the same thing. Overmars threw Ajax under the bus with the signing of who was the little guy that we signed for 10 million, the left back,
Left back, the little left back.
Wijnaldum?
Yamagayan, you mean?
Avila.
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 So he had to put that out there, and there's no reason really to put that out there and damage Ajax again because he was pissed off how it went. So people are sometimes like that. They're smaller than they should act, but yeah, that's basically the game, I think.
You, Yellen? Do you
Yeah,
have any
not
understanding for
because-
what said?
Not because he's short, but I think he has a Napoleon complex. In the way that you should know where your limits are. He massively overextended his own abilities. He did good at Sparta, but that's about the limit of his training abilities, which is not bad, which is good. But everybody warned us before the season that he was friends with the media, and when shit hits the fan, he was going to do everything to protect himself, to protect the name Stein. We were warned for that. Then again, on the other side, he rolled over and said, "Okay, Mislintat, come in, do whatever you want. I will make it work." And then when shit hit the fan, he said, "Yeah, I don't want this." He should have put his foot down and if this is the way that's going to go, I'll go out the door. Then he would have had balls, and then he would have said, "Okay, I wanted to coach at Ajax, but not in this way. So I took my stuff in a cardboard box and I went." Everybody would have respected that.
What agitates me the most in this whole circus is that Sneijder and Van der Vaart both fell into the Stein trap and defended him after they still defend him, which is crazy in my mind, because it's clear Mislintat is not the TD from heaven, but he didn't do everything wrong. It was not only Mislintat's fault with what happened, because it was the season before as well. It wasn't great, and we spend a lot of money on not too great players. So it's not one thing that's crumbling. It's more
No.
things, and Stein was a part of that as well.
But why would you
You know,
coach
I
a
know.
team when someone tells you these are the players you have to do it with? How does that work? Tell me. Tell me how
Blind,
you're
Yeah,
gonna.
Boer did it.
he at Rondo.
Boer had
Wait,
no
wait.
problem.
At Rondo, he said that he wanted De Vrij, he wanted
Yeah.
Dest. Who else did he want?
But tell me, how
Um,
does that work? How do you go into work and accept that? This is
But
your
the Boer did it.
livelihood. This is your dream, and you say, "Okay, you choose for
But
me." I
Jelland,
don't
the Boer did
understand
it.
where.
Jelland, the Boer did it. De Boer never. You can say anything you want about Frank de Boer, and especially about his gameplay in his last 2 seasons.
Mhm.
But Frank de Boer never complained about the material. He never complained. So it can be done, and you only have to look on what you have on the pitch and what they do, and then adjust.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, look, the interview sounded for me kind of tacky, but I do understand that he had struggles that any coach would struggle with, like not having a normal preseason, not having a full squad at the beginning of your preseason, getting
Everybody
players.
does.
Yeah, everybody has that, and
No,
especially in Holland.
not in the amount of players we had. I mean, there were still a lot of players coming in at the last moment. No, and you don't know
Have you
what kind
ever
of
played?
players you're gonna get.
Have you ever played Football Manager the game, which is pretty realistic? When you buy 15 players and you put them into a team, it's not going to go well. So you need time to have like anchors in the team.
But also further in the season, it wasn't progressing.
It wasn't.
Pavimento. It wasn't progressing at all.
But yeah, but that
It
was not.
degressing was it? So
Yeah, but that was also because he lost his team by saying there is no quality in this team, and that was his biggest mistake to say that, because that's the moment he
yeah,
lost his team.
but if you take that seriously, it's such a joke, because the quality is not that low that you should be 18th of the Eredivisie. That's BS. That's just BS.
Okay.
True.
I just let me just check if there's any other comments. Christian saying he threw the players under the bus after one game. He thought Ibiza was more important than training. So okay,
True story.
I think true story. So I think that's where the anger comes from.
Yeah,
Kans
it's
is
a bit
saying Van der
blown.
Sar's fault. Yeah, Van der Sar also had his moments, but if we look at Kaplan, that's a Van der Sar signing. Just saying. I'm just a host, but just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
but that someone not does very well in a position doesn't mean that everything that someone does is terrible.
True.
But to be honest, Van der Sar
Bayern
wasn't a
doesn't
great
care.
director. Sorry?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a good sporting director from the show.
And I hope his health is going okay, because he's still an Ajax legend. But as a director, he wasn't that good.
No, Bayern is happy that Stein's feeling got hurt. Rest in peace. So I don't see many sympathy from the Ajax fans towards Stein.
No, you're not
I
going
just
to
wanna
let.
go-
They want to forget him.
Yeah, yeah, they
I
want to
already
forget him.
did.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, and that's the last time we're gonna talk about it. I just thought it was appropriate because of the Rondo talk. I just want to end this stream, guys, with the last question for me. We drew. We played a decent game. What do you guys expect next week? And can we progress further? What's the feeling after this game? Last question. Andrew, go ahead.
Victory. Victory. No, no, we're not starting Chuba for you, Josh. But no, I think Villa's banged up. I mean, I tell you what, if you're gambling, Tottenham might be a very good bet for this weekend. But but no, in all seriousness, as I've been thinking about it in my head, I think Yellen, you had an interesting point. when we were talking about the next game, which is get your foundation early. You know, maybe you get a little bit, get your feet under you at Villa Park. That place will be electric. They'll be rocking. But I think as the game progresses, if they can get through the first 30 minutes and the initial assault, I think there will be an opportunity to really take advantage of all the weapons that they're missing in the middle of their defense. And whether it's and I think you might see us hopefully go for the win, push some players forward into the middle field, maybe even change formation at halftime, to get more offensive, and take advantage of those vacancies. I can't emphasize enough. Losing Kansa is a major blow to them. I don't know where they're going to turn. I mean,
I like the positivity, Andrew.
Mings ain't walking through the door to save them.
Score? Can you give us a prediction? Score?
2-1 Ajax. Broby roofing it in the 80th for the win.
Perfect. Yadirenko, are you as positive as Andrew?
Videotape that, Poppy. Videotape that. So
I will clip it.
It's gonna go on the tube.
We post it.
I dearly hope he's right. I think it will be a really different game from today. I think Villa will bring their at least their attitude along. So if they're missing players, yeah, sure. But I really think Ajax needs to bring the intensity of today. And if they don't, it's going to be a really, really, really hard night.
Okay. So you're not convinced yet?
No, we had
Maleno saying he's like.
We had a good.
Yeah, all to play for, but it's gonna depend on Ajax's form. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Over there.
And especially the intensity they bring. If you bring the intensity, then I think if you survive, then you can really hurt them with that intensity. But I think Villa will bring that intensity as well. So it really depends which way it goes. And they're playing at home, so they have the whole full stadium behind them. So that's going to be completely different also for them. Not only for us, but also for them, it's going to be completely different as today.
I remember, before I go to you, Yellen, I remember we had Luke from UTV podcast here, and he said it would be a midfield battle. Didn't feel like that today as a midfield battle at all. Because he said the winner will be the winner of the midfield. And I didn't feel like we were really battling on the midfield today. But Yellen, maybe you can give us your thoughts, your feeling for next week and your score.
Yeah, I think that's all part of Henderson's communication and organization. So I think he set it up well, and Mansverk was just plugging all the holes that were there, and so that was good. But so for next week, I think we've made a mistake in the past where we went into the match with a kind of a gung-ho mentality, and we were punished for it. So I hope we learn from those mistakes and just not give them too much space in the beginning. Just weather the first storm, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or
you like you like the movie Full Metal Jacket, don't you, Alan, or not?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
No,
you got it.
You're using gung ho all the time.
I'm a Call of Duty player, and there's something in there.
Okay.
It's going, go.
Oh, they copied it from there. Okay.
I believe that
Good reference.
we can grow in confidence if we can weather the first storm, and they will start shaking a little bit more. So the momentum will then probably shift. So that was my prediction: is 1-0 Ajax.
Wow. I like the positivity, guys. I hope so.
You have to. You have an Ajax heart. You have to.
Yeah. Man, come on. Did you guys expect to keep a clean sheet today?
No.
I didn't.
No.
So
now you have to.
I'm hoping for the best.
I did.
You did. That's very good. Okay, ladies and gents, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Andrew, I really appreciate it. Yellen, Yadirenko.
I can tell time again.
Yeah, you're on time. Really good. Just enjoy this game, this amazing performance from our team. I see you guys on. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, when are we playing Fortuna? I think Sunday.
Monday.
This Sunday this weekend. Fortuna. Yadirenko will be the panel. I think Sahbi is hosting. So see you all then. Good night, all.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye bye.